Hey there, saxophone players. I am going to be playing through the etude that is part of your next playing test, also the wind ensemble audition music. First things we want to do is before we start playing is make sure that we understand how to count this piece, which is in 6/8 time. Very simple. You want to count it in six, where the eighth note gets the beat and the 16th note is like an eighth note. So I'm going to count this 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. Real straightforward there. I want to pay attention to the key signature. I not only have B flats, but also E flats. And this is going to be pretty consistent throughout the piece. They do throw a few accidentals at us, but we are going to consistently be playing E flat and B flat, both high and low. So make sure you're feeling comfortable with your B flat. Check to make sure everything's working okay. And especially on your E flat, make sure this is opening and closing. A lot of times that key gets a little sticky on a saxophone. Again, I'm thinking 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6 at the beginning, and notice it says the word staccato. Every note will be played separated unless they tell us otherwise. For example, just the first two measures are going to be very light and separated. As I move on, I'm going to see a few accents that are added, but I'm not going to speed up or slow down. I'm going to maintain the consistent 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 pulse. And at that point, I am at the end of the first line. Be very careful of the accidentals in that last measure. Play that a few times to make sure all of the pitches are correct. As I go on to the second line, the same rhythms prevail. One little squawk in there, but again, most importantly, I'm keeping things light and separated, and I'm playing all of my E flats. I didn't miss any of those. There were a ton of E flats in that second line, so be very careful. You're also going to want to practice that last measure of the second line, where you have to go from fourth line D down to the low D, making sure that that octave key is responding quickly. Adjust your embouchure, open up on those low notes so that they don't displace. I can lift my thumb up, but if I don't change my embouchure, the notes won't go low, like this. It didn't go down because I didn't relax my jaw. Third line, there's a big change. We get dynamically louder, the articulation changes to a slur, and the old rhythms change, and I enter on a high note. I'm going to do this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, short, short, 6. Ready? Now I have an opportunity to use an alternate, a chromatic F sharp at the beginning of the fourth line. Notice you have F followed by F sharp. You should use this alternate with your ring finger rather than going F, F sharp, rather than going 1, 2. It'll be smoother as opposed to that's not as fast or as clean. So when I play that whole measure, I hit the wrong key. Okay. Now we are into what is technically the most difficult part of the etude, the fourth line starting in the second measure. We need to slow this down and play it very deliberately, B flats and E flats all over the place. Okay, I'm going to do that again. I had a couple mistakes in there. I could do it 3, 4, 5 times, however many times you need to do it to make sure that it's correct, that you're getting all the flats, the low notes are coming out in the low octave, and that you are maintaining a steady tempo. Even if it's not fast, it should be steady. The last line presents an interesting challenge. If you look closely at the music, you will notice there is this indication to slur or phrase all of these notes together. However, there are also these accents written in the music. We have to do these accents with our air. Just like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, the final measure of the etude is simply a chromatic scale. Okay, not a problem. I'm going to attempt now to play through this without stopping. It won't be perfect. As you know, I'm not a saxophone player, but I'm hoping that this will be accurate enough to give you an idea of how this piece goes and how you should perform it. Fail at the end there, but you get the basic idea of what you need to do. If you have specific questions, you can ask me, but that's a rough idea of how the saxophone etude goes as performed by a trombone player.